Hallo und willkommen zu Now German, Lektion 67, Lesson 67. Hey C.
Hello everyone. Hey Gregor.
C, do you know what is early in German?
Früh.
Früh, that's right. Do you know the opposite?
Later.
Spät.
Spät.
Yes. And now I can ask you, bist du früh aufgestanden heute?
Ja, ich bin früh aufgestanden heute.
Yes. And by the way, heute, it's a bit flexible. In most cases, we'd place it earlier in a sentence. We could say, bist du heute früh aufgestanden? But I kind of added it in the end. Then it's also all right to mention it at that point. Yes. And she indeed went or got up early to record this lesson for you all. So let's indeed start with that and kick it off with the dialogue. Good morning.
Wann bist du gestern aufgestanden?
Gestern bin ich früh aufgestanden.
Okay. Und was hast du denn gemacht?
Ich habe im Supermarkt eingekauft. Und wann bist du aufgestanden?
Ich bin spät aufgestanden.
Und dann?
Dann habe ich die Küche aufgeräumt und ich habe meine Mutter angerufen.
Aufgeräumt und angerufen. All right, let's look at exactly that in our vocab list here. And you can already tell the topic, grammar topic in this lesson will also be how to build the Partizip 2 with separable verbs. You see it already here, and we'll talk about the logic more later. Aufstehen means to get up. What is the partizip of aufstehen?
Aufgestehen.
Aufgestanden. This is irregular. Aufgestanden.
Aufgestanden.
Yes, and one thing to consider is that, as always with separable verbs, we stress the prefix. And even if we add something after that, still we stress the prefix. So it's not aufgestanden, but aufgestanden.
Aufgestanden.
Yes, and then we have machen. Do you know the partizip of machen?
Gemacht.
Yes, and we have einkaufen. How about the partizip 2 of that?
Angekauft.
Yes. And one that we didn't see that much is aufräumen, to clean up. Aufräumen.
Aufräumen.
Yes. What is the partizip 2?
Aufgeräumt.
Yes. Be careful. U, we pronounce it like Ö, I. It's a bit tricky. So aufräumen and aufgeräumt.
Aufräumen und aufgeräumt.
Good enough. All right. And then we have anrufen, means to call someone. What's the partizip 2 of anrufen?
Angerufen.
That's right. And a few other words. Wann.
Wann?
That's when. And what's yesterday?
Gestern.
That's right. And the words we talked about in the introduction are early and late. What are these two in German?
Früh.
Früh is
Spät.
early. Sorry, yeah. Früh is early and?
Spät.
Yes. Spät.
Spät.
Yes. So there are two different ways to pronounce this letter A umlaut. It can be either A or E. And in this case, it is spät. And then we have dann.
Dann.
That is then. And just a bit more, im.
Im.
That is just in dem, in dative. Not the focus of this lesson. We'll talk about dative more later. Then we have die Küche.
Die Küche.
Kitchen. And lastly, die Mutter.
Die Mutter.
That is mother. Do you know what is father in German?
Der Vater.
Yes, that's right. Any questions?
Could we go back? Sorry, what is the anrufen again? The meaning?
That means to call someone, make a phone call to someone.
And anfrümen.
Aufräumen, that is to clean up.
Aufräumen. Okay.
All right. Let's first look at the dialogue one more time, and then we'll look at how to build exactly the perfect tense with these separable words.
Wann bist du gestern aufgestanden?
Gestern bin ich früh aufgestanden.
Okay. Und was hast du denn gemacht?
Be careful, it's not then, but done.
Okay. Und was hast du dann gemacht?
Ich habe im Supermarkt eingekauft. Und wann bist du aufgestanden?
Ich bin spät aufgestanden.
Und dann?
Dann habe ich die Küche aufgeräumt und ich habe meine Mutter angerufen. Angerufen.
Yes, great. Okay, now let's look at the main topic of this lesson, which is separable verbs in the perfect tense. And the best way to look at this is to look at a verb that is not separable, just a verb stem, and then a separable verb that just has something added to that stem. And our classic one we always had here is kaufen and einkaufen. And so you see here the Partizip 2 or the perfect of kaufen is hat gekauft. And then if we have prefix that is separable like ein, what happens is that we just split up the prefix and we make a bit of space in between and we add ge. Or another way to think about it is that we use the same partizip that we built for the verb kaufen, for example, becomes gekauft, and then we just add the prefix before that. So then it becomes eingekauft. And the word then stays together as one block. It doesn't move because Partizip 2 is always at the end of the sentence anyways. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. So let's look at a few more examples here. The first one we just had, hat eingekauft. And then we have clean up, aufräumen. How could I build the perfect tense with aufräumen?
Hat aufgeräumt.
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 Yes, exactly. And anrufen, to call.
Hat angerufen.
Yes. And one last one, aufstehen.
Er ist aufgestanden.
Aufgestanden.
Er ist aufgestanden.
That's right. And you see the rules we talked about with haben and sein, they remain kind of unchanged. If it is just a normal verb, or basically the normal scenario is we use haben, but if it has any kind of movement, we use sein. And of course, get up, stand up, that has a movement, so it's conjugated with sein, as you did there correctly. Any questions about that?
No.
Great, then let's go to the dialogue one more time.
Wann bist du gestern aufgestanden?
Gestern bin ich früh aufgestanden.
Okay. Und was hast du dann gemacht?
Ich habe im Supermarkt eingekauft. Und wann bist du aufgestanden?
Ich bin spät aufgestanden.
Und dann?
Dann habe ich die Küche aufgeräumt. Und ich habe meine Mutter aufgeräumt.
Angerufen.
Und dann habe ich die Küche aufgeräumt und ich habe meine Mutter angerufen.
Yes, very good. Okay, see, wann bist du am Sonntag aufgestanden?
Am Sonntag bin ich spät aufgestanden.
Yes, very good. As it should be for most people on the weekend. All right, that was it for this lesson. We have some more things to cover about perfect tense, so we'll see you again in the next one. Tschüss.
Tschüss.